With the right mindset and a few strategic moves, you can make your ex think about you constantly, even if they swore they were over you. I'm Brad Browning, aka Breakup Brad, best-selling author and breakup coach. And over the past 15 years, I've helped thousands through my one-on-one coaching, and I'm here today to share with you all that I've learned helping people get a second chance with their ex. Now, first off, I know that it's easy to make your ex think about you. Just spam their phone with messages, show up to their workplace, eat 100 chicken wings on Facebook Live. Easy. But the real trick, of course, is to make them think about you positively. Because you want to be on your ex's mind for the right reasons. That's what's going to eventually bring them back to you. So let's dive in with number one, which is to change your mindset. Now, this may seem strange, but it's actually the most important factor in this process. Because you can't make your ex think about you if you're stuck obsessing over them. You can do everything right, but if you're going into the wrong frame of mind, it's going to be completely obvious and it's not going to work at all. You may not be doing anything differently, but it's going to come through in subtle and not so subtle ways, like how you look at them, your tone of voice, or the way you focus on their needs rather than your own. Now, trust me, none of this stuff is going to be attractive to your ex, and more importantly, it does not make them obsess over you. Because one of the main reasons that your ex is going to think about you is because they don't know exactly what you want or what you're thinking. This is like an unsolved problem in their mind, and it's something that they'll return to again and again. It's kind of like the famous Mona Lisa smile. People from around the world come to stare at her and ask themselves, what is she thinking? But if you're still obsessing over your ex, it's going to be obvious, and that means they're going to know your feelings. They'll see that you want them, you need them, and will stop at nothing to get them back. And that simply isn't attractive. Confidence is. So if you want to make your ex think about you, you need to shift your focus inward. Tell yourself that you will survive and you will thrive even if your ex never comes back to you. Now, you might not believe it in this moment, but keep reminding yourself, and pretty soon you'll see that it is the truth. And instead of worrying about what they're doing or who they're with, ask yourself, what can I do to improve my life right now? Because what you're really looking for is happiness. And while getting your ex back is one path to happiness, and I'm sure the best one, or you probably wouldn't be here, but there are other ways for you to be happy right now. And if you make that your priority, you're setting yourself up for success when your ex does finally return. So start leveling up. Hit the gym, pick up a new hobby, reconnect with old friends, do things that make you feel happy, confident, and fulfilled. When you're genuinely thriving, your ex is going to notice. And when they see you living your best life without them, they'll start to wonder if they made a mistake. And now that you have the right mindset, let's move on to the next strategy. Number two, take a step back from your ex. Now, I know that after the breakup, it's so tempting to, text, call, stalk your ex's social media. But if you've done this, and you probably have because pretty much everyone does, I'm sure you've seen that not only does it make you miserable, it actually pushes your ex further away. Now, this happens for a few reasons. One, it makes you seem desperate, which is just not attractive. It creates a dynamic where you're the pursuer and your ex is being pursued, leaving them no room to pursue you or really to miss you since you're always hanging around. And again, it gives away your feelings so they no longer have to wonder about how you feel. So instead, take the high road. Cut off all communication for a while. Silence is powerful. It creates a void that your ex can't ignore. And when they don't hear from you, they'll start to wonder why. Are you moving on, seeing someone else? The more they think about why you're not reaching out, the more you're going to occupy their thoughts. Let me quickly tell you about my client, Shay. Now, after her breakup with her boyfriend, Daniel, they were talking all the time. They even seemed to be connecting. But whenever she tried to get him to actually see her in person, he always had some excuse. Too busy with work, he was sick, he had a boys' night planned. Really, Shay was at the end of her rope, so she signed up for my coaching. And after I started hearing about her story, the first thing that I told her was that she needed to go no contact immediately. Now, like a lot of my clients, she was afraid that if she stopped reaching out to Daniel, it was like throwing it all away. She was worried that he'd forget about her and just move on. Thankfully, she did put her trust in me and she did pull the plug. And less than 2 weeks later, Daniel called her and told her that he needed to see her that night. He told her how he missed her, and the two of them has been together ever since, at least as far as I know. Now, her absence made him realize how much he missed her presence. So don't hesitate. Make a clean break and let your ex chase you for once. All right, and number three, use social media to your advantage. Now, of course, social media can be really tricky after a breakup. Many people really aren't aware of the message that they're sending, so their posts just end up making them seem desperate and alone. But if you can actually understand how it works, your posts can actually make you look confident and attractive to your ex. The key is to post strategically, not excessively. So share photos and updates that show you're living your best life. Post a picture of you hiking a beautiful trail, having fun with your friends, enjoying a new hobby. Really, these kinds of posts send a clear message. I'm happy and thriving. But here's the secret. You have to keep it authentic. Don't overdo it. Don't use staged photos or fake positivity, because your ex can tell when you're trying too hard. When they see you genuinely enjoying life, that's when they'll start to question if they underestimated you. Really, a little goes a long way here. Don't feel the need to post, every single day. In fact, it's often when you take a little break from posting that your ex is going to reach out, because their mind is going to be running wild, wondering what you're up to. And most important, resist posting anything about the breakup or directly addressing your ex. Nothing pushes people away faster than wondering when you're going to blow them up on social media. That kind of thing needs to remain private, or they're never going to be able to trust you again. All right, number 4, one of my favorites, use the power of mystery. Mystery really is one of the most effective tools for making your ex think about you. Really, this is one of the things that makes no contact so effective. But it's also sometimes useful to give a little information that's only going to make your ex wonder more. So really, never overshare. If you run into your ex or their friends, keep your updates short and sweet. Instead of giving every detail of your life, you could just say something like, I've been so super busy lately, lots of new opportunities coming my way that I almost can't keep up. Something like that. This really it leaves your ex's mind racing. What are those new opportunities? Are you dating somebody else? Are you maybe happier without them? Mystery just keeps them guessing, which keeps them thinking about you. Now, this can be a hard thing to master since you're used to telling them everything, but take this opportunity to change the dynamic. And this has another advantage too. When your ex sees that you're treating them differently than you did when you were together, it shows them that you have changed, which is going to make them want to know how and why. Again, more mystery. It's also going to highlight the fact that things are different now. Highlighting the change in your relationship will actually help you win your ex back in a powerful way. Change is scary for a lot of people. Many of us see it as a threat, at least on a subconscious level. It gives us a sense of loss. We're exchanging the familiar for the unknown. And this psychological effect can be enough to make your ex come running back to you in many cases. Or at the very least, make them worry and make them think about you more and more. All right, number 5, trigger nostalgia. Now, the past is really another powerful emotional trigger because people often miss the past more than the person. So by subtly reminding your ex of the good times you shared, you can tap into those feelings of longing and show them that losing you is losing a part of themselves. Now, don't be too obvious here. In certain situations, sending them old photos or talking about old times can be powerful, but more often it's better to be subtle. So, say the two of you you went to a great concert in the past. Just posting one of the band's songs on your Instagram story is a great way to bring your ex's mind back to that time without making it obvious that you're doing it intentionally. Number 6, improve yourself. Now, my clients, to be honest, often hate to hear this, but the truth is self-improvement can be incredibly attractive. So take some actual time to work on yourself, not just to impress your ex, but for your own growth. Like we talked about before, hit the gym, learn a new skill, dive into personal development books. Because when your ex sees or hears about the new improved you, they're going to be intrigued. They might think, wait, when did they become so confident, so fit, so accomplished? Self-improvement shows that you're thriving without them, which makes you much more attractive in their eyes. For example, one of my clients, Kurt, he started taking dancing lessons after his breakup just to boost his confidence. And when he posted a video of himself dancing in an event, his ex couldn't resist commenting, wow, when did you learn how to dance? And that one comment reopened the door to actual communication again. But there's another powerful force at play here. The human mind loves to simplify, to create stories. And that's why breakups are often boiled down to a winner and a loser. Even if we all know that they're always more complicated than that, we often can't help but think of ourselves as the winner or the loser of the breakup. So maybe you clung to your ex more than you should have. Maybe you annoyed them and came off as desperate. Maybe you begged for another chance. Really, in that case, you were the loser in that situation. But once you start to live your best life, achieve a high level and improve yourself, you can shift this narrative in your ex's mind. Suddenly, they start to feel like they're stagnating in their life while you're flourishing. They think, maybe now I'm the loser and they're the winner. And of course, everyone wants to be with the winner. Number 7, let word get around. Sometimes the best way to get your ex to think about you is indirectly. So live your life in a way that makes others naturally want to talk about you. When mutual friends mention how amazing you're doing, it's going to plant a seed in your ex's mind. Take my client David's story, for instance. After his breakup, he started a coffee shop, and he focused on really building his business to the very best of his ability. Pretty soon, luckily for him, it became wildly popular, and he was actually about to open a second location. Word got around, and not long after, his ex Maria heard about his success through a mutual friend. She reached out to congratulate them, and they reconnected. Now, I know that it's not so easy to start a small business and wow your ex with your success. But what you can do is plant seeds in the minds of mutual friends. Again, be subtle about this, because if your ex finds out you're trying to let them know how successful you are, it's going to have the opposite effect. So when you do speak to mutual friends, do a little humble brag here and there. That's where, you share a good thing you have going on in your life by framing it through the problem that it's created. So this is kind of a cheesy example, but something like, I keep getting random people DMing me on Instagram to ask me out. It's like, leave me alone. Of course, this kind of thing can be obnoxious if you overdo it, but here and there, done carefully, it is a good way to brag without being too obvious. And that brings us to number 8, be happy without them for real. Now, here is the ultimate secret to making your ex think about you. Actually do your best to move on. When you're truly happy and content with your life, it shows. Now, happiness is magnetic. People are drawn to those who radiate joy and positivity. So if your ex senses that you're still hung up on them, they're not going to feel the need to think about you. But if they see you thriving and happy without them, they're going to start to wonder, how are they so happy without me? Did I maybe make a mistake? This isn't about pretending to move on. It's about actually doing it. So focus on building a life that excites you. I know that many people resist this because they feel like it'll mean leaving their ex behind for good and admitting defeat, but it really doesn't have to. As we talked about, talking to your ex right now isn't really doing you any favors when it comes to getting them back. So if you're already not talking to your ex, then you're already moving forward in the right direction. Now, this isn't going to stop you from reconnecting when the time is right. In fact, it's actually going to make it easier because you're actively healing from all the negativity and resentment surrounding the relationship and the breakup. If you're able to do that, whether or not your ex reaches out to you or not to break the ice after a period of no contact, you're going to be in a much stronger place emotionally than you would if you just continued to obsess over them. And number 9, sign up for my one-on-one coaching program. Now, if you're looking for a little extra help with this process, I've got you covered. I've helped literally thousands of clients win back their ex in seemingly hopeless situations, and I can help you out too. Just go to breakupbrad.com/coaching to find out how the process works. When all else fails, it's always helpful to get an expert opinion. Again, breakupbrad.com/coaching to see my availability and sign up today. I would really love to hear from you soon. And with that just about brings us to the end of the video. Remember, guys, it's not about manipulating or game playing, at least for the most part. It's actually more about being somebody who inspires adoration and attraction in your ex. And the better you feel, the more attractive you become to those around you, including your ex. So embrace this process and don't fall into despair. Remember, you have a ton to your offer, and your ex will be lucky to get a second chance with you. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. I read to as many as I can and respond to as many as I can as well. Best of luck out there, and see you next time.